Hey guys, welcome back to the Jedi Knight of the Woods channel. Thanks very much for stopping by for another video, and I think I've got a little treat for you guys here. I've come across a knife which I actually can hardly believe. I did a bit of research on this. I must confess I'd never heard of this brand up until about 3 weeks ago, and I did a bit of research on it, and to be quite frank, I was a little bit sceptical to begin with. But I thought, for the price of it, and I'll come to that in a minute, I've got to get one of these and see what the fuss is all about. If you can't tell already, which you probably can from the packaging just down there, this is a Sanrenmu. S-A-N-R-E-N-M-U. It's a knife that's made in China, and apparently it's from the same factory that makes things like Spyderco knives, Kershaw knives, other brands that you will probably be aware of, and I really didn't know what to expect from this thing. I've left it in the packaging just so you can see how it came, and it's called, or it's compared to, the small Sebenza, Chris Reeve Sebenza. And to be honest with you, I mean, not that I've ever seen one in the flesh or held one, they're far too expensive in my mind, but it does look like the Sebenza that I've seen in other pictures. Now guys, I don't know if you're going to believe me on this when I tell you, but I actually found a site for this knife with free shipping involved, and I paid $7, about $7.80 for it, which equates to, in sterling, I think I worked it out exactly at £5.03. Now, I, to be honest with you, when I was looking at that, I expected to get through a piece of crap, to be honest, and I really should have known better, because I have ordered another Chinese brand, or a knife made in China, called Rough Rider, and you've probably heard of the Rough Rider brand. Maybe even seen a couple of models. You might even have a couple of models of Rough Rider knives, and for the price of them, the quality is exceptional. And this thing is no different. I've got to say, I've been really chuffed with it. I have put it back in the pack, but I'll just go and take it out now so you can have a bit of a look at it. Now, on the back of the packaging, it says that there is a quality guarantee. They will place it no charge for 3 months after the purchase date, which is okay, fine, not a problem. This is the model 710, by the way. So let's get her out. Packaging, you know, much of a muchness, but it's the knife itself that we're really interested in, and I've got to say, I'm really impressed with this thing. It's 8CR13 MOV blade steel, so it says on the documentation on the website. Weighs in at about 90 grams, just a shade short of 90 grams. It's slightly larger or more weighty than the Sebenza apparently, which is around about 82, 83 grams. But I actually quite like the weight of it. It's got quite a nice little hefty feel. As you can see from the fit in my hands, it's not the biggest knife in the world. And I must again state, before you go purchasing anything, if you do off the back of this video, it's not legal everyday carry in the UK. It is a locking blade. So this again will be something that I will use when I'm round about the house. I'll take it out fishing, into the woods, those sorts of things, take it by its paces. But although it's not everyday carry for the UK, I wanted to show you this thing because a lot of us like locking knives, and I'm a big advocate that a lot of the time in the Western world and the developed world, we're actually paying you know, far too much for goods these days that can be made an awful lot cheaper and more efficiently in other places. And I'm not one to advocate slave labour or you know, anything along those lines, but I just think that some countries have got it right in their manufacturing process. Some countries have worked these things out around materials. Okay, some people will say that you get a compromise in quality and, you know, so on and so forth, but where I find a quality piece of equipment like this knife here, I want to let you guys know about it. I've been looking into knives for a while and I didn't know about this thing, so if you do, great. If you don't, hopefully would have found a little gem for you here. So looking at the knife itself, I'm not going to go into too many details. You can find all that out on the web, and to be quite honest, if you're anything like me, you enjoy searching for the details of it anyway. But let's see sort of how it stands up. It's got a nice hollow ground blade. On first inspection it looks to be quite a thick blade as well, a bit like that Kershaw half-ton model. There's a little bit of a sort of tarnish on there, but I'm not too worried about that. There's a close-up. You can see right through the handle there. It does have a clip which is removable with the Torx tool. I don't know whether I'll take that off. Yeah, I'm not sure. Quite large thumb studs, I've got to say, for this one. But I actually quite like that because it means I get a really good purchase. I'm not one of these that flicks their knives out continually every day, day in, day out. So it does sort of is quite nice to have a good thumb stud there. I don't know if you can see the logo. That's the logo on the Sanrenmu. It's got a sort of slight secondary bevel on the knife. You know, do you call it a clip point, bowie, drop point, whatever. And a little bit of handle roughness there for grip. I'm not sure how much of a difference that's really going to make, to be honest, to your grip once it gets wet or oily, whatever. But it's got absolutely no blade play. That locks up. It's a frame lock, by the way, not a liner lock or anything along those lines. It's a frame lock. Let's give you an up close on that. But it locks up absolutely solid, I've got to say. There is no play in that whatsoever. Up, down, side to side, absolutely nothing. As I say, hollow ground blade, HCR13 MOV, as I say. It's the same blade material, steel, that Spyderco use on some of their knives. I understand that it's treated, from what I can gather, the Spydercos are a bit harder, to a Rockwell of about 58, 59, something like that, and this is a Rockwell hardness of about 57. So I understand, but it's a really solid grip on the thumb when you go to unlock it. There's a nice little clink when it locks. I quite like that. But it's a really good solid locking mechanism. What else can we tell you about it? I've got to mention that price again. Let's say £5.03, including free delivery, which I think is absolutely incredible. A lot of people like the Sebenza because they feel that it's a really aesthetically, you know, pleasing knife, and personally I think this one is as well. So for the cost of it, and I'll give you the website that I bought it from as well, which was, bear with me a second, it was www.focalprice.com. That's www.focalprice.com. I get no kickback, commission or anything from that site. I just want to let you guys know about these places to buy this gear, if it's you know, worth doing so, just so you guys can take advantage of what I found. I'm just looking at the site now, $7.89 in dollars, and that works out £5.03. So there are quite a few reviews on this actually. If you have a look on YouTube, you can find a few reviews on this knife as well, which goes into more detail. When there is no option, I will say, if you like having your tip up in terms of your carry in your pocket, you won't get an option for that. It is tip down carry. I haven't got a problem with that, to be honest. Some people will have, but so there you have it, guys. Hope that you found that useful. Really, I'm not going into these, you know, massive long details about how long it is and wide it is and so on and so forth. You can check these things out for yourself. But I really just want to bring these things to you where I find good deals on good bits of kit. So there you go, guys. Sanrenmu, model number 710. You can get loads of others. They are pretty tactical looking, the others, so I'm not going to bother with them. But for a real cheap beater knife, I don't think you can beat this one. Give it a go for £5. There you go, guys. See you in the next video.